Hi, we'd like to tell you about how the Relational Center is responding to the COVID-19 crisis.
In order to continue our vital services while complying with safer at home guidelines,
we began providing all of our counseling sessions, groups, trainings, and supervision via phone and video in early March.
Because we were able to make the shift so quickly, we protected all of our community members from possible exposure to the virus, and we've also been able to maintain continuity of care for the many clients who depend on us.
We still take on new clients every week, and in some ways, even though we are doing everything virtually, it feels like business as usual.
But of course, it's not business as usual.
As an organization built around the value of connection, we know social isolation can be detrimental to our health and well-being.
We are especially concerned for those who are sheltering alone without human contact.
That's why we're not only maintaining, but expanding our service offerings.
During the first week of shelter-in-place order, we started offering multiple online support groups every week that are free and open to the public in order to help combat the devastating effects of social isolation.
We want to be sure that everyone has access to some form of connection and support.
We also know that isolation is only one of the detrimental effects this crisis is creating.
We're already seeing increased incidences of violence in the home and substance misuse as people lose their ability to cope.
The impacts of this COVID-19 pandemic are in addition to the effects of ongoing systemic oppression and marginalization.
Even with everybody staying at home, we continue to see the same levels of violence against communities of color.
Many of us fear for our lives and the lives of our loved ones.
Many are facing devastating financial hardship because of lost jobs or pay cuts.
Many are also experiencing the inability to visit friends and family who are hospitalized due to COVID-19 or any other reason.
This is creating unthinkable scenarios where our dearest loved ones face illness and death alone.
For survivors, the communal rituals and care surrounding loss are no longer available, leaving us to mourn and grieve in isolation.
In other words, our society is experiencing collective trauma on multiple levels that will have repercussions for months and years to come.
We are seeing increases in anxiety, depression, feelings of hopelessness, fatigue, and inability to focus as this crisis continues.
Which is why now, more than ever, services of the Relational Center are crucial.
Experts are warning of a coming mental health crisis, and we are already seeing a growing need for counseling and other supportive services.
This is a need we are determined to meet, but we cannot do it without adequate funding.
The thing is, we've been underfunded for a long time.
Our waiting list for services was months long before the start of the COVID-19 crisis.
We have more counselors apply for our training program every year than we have the capacity to train and supervise.
We would love to expand our services, increase our number of counselors, and serve the needs of everyone on our waiting list, but we need additional funding to make that happen.
We also want desperately to provide the additional services we know are needed right now.
But this crisis has also meant we had to cancel our annual fundraiser, A Date to Relate, which we rely on to finance our current operations.
We know the economic downturn means many of our donors may not be in a position to give as generously as in the past.
We also know there are many worthy organizations who desperately need funding today.
We believe the Relational Center is one of these organizations.
The counseling and wellness services we provide are vital to the ability of our community to cope with the crisis, manage and process the current trauma and grief, and develop the resilience and hope for the future that will allow them to not only survive, but to thrive.
The COVID-19 crisis will likely be the defining moment of our lives.
Without access to affordable, high-quality mental health care, many will be lost or irreparably harmed.
That's why we are asking you to please give to TRC today. In whatever amount you can, our future depends on you.